Perfect. All right. So tonight we are going to start with the 4 domains of Gallup Strengths. So those 4 domains are executing, influencing, strategic thinking, and relationship building. And what's really cool about these 4 domains is because when you look at your top 10, sometimes it's a little bit further, top 12 or 13, you get a really good idea of who you are as a person.
Brittany, can you repeat those again, please?
Yes, it is executing, influencing, strategic thinking, and relationship building. So when you're looking at your test, if you see like there's 4 different colors, there's blue, purple, orange, and green. Otherwise, if you took the test before they changed it was blue, purple, red, I think, and yellow maybe, or orange. So they had just changed the colors previously, or a little bit ago. So those 4 domains break up into a couple very nice little sentences. So if you are an executor, you are the type of person that loves to do everything in a way that honors your desire to get. Executors like to get things done. They are the people that like having a checklist. They are the type of person that they would rather be given tasks like, okay, I want you to do this, 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 and this, and then come see me again and what to do. They are the type of person that if they have 10 things on their list, if they are like if they have a lot of executing, it's very possible that they will either number their tasks like in order of importance. They may put time. Like for me, if I know I have to get to the post office, I will make that one of my first tasks because the post office has a time. And I know I'm going to need so much time to get it done. If you are an influencer, influencers love to do everything in a way that honors your desire to move people forward. Influencers want to see people succeed. And part of it is because they want to be next to them. They want to be cheered them up, and they want to be remembered as one of the reasons that somebody did well, because an influencer had their back. An influencer kept pushing them. An influencer did whatever it is that influencers do to move somebody forward. Strategic thinkers love to do everything in a way that honors your desire to think, create, and or learn. So strategic thinkers love to get more information. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. They want to get all of that information before they make a decision. And that way they know that they have everything spread out. They can see that best decision possible, and they know that they're doing what's right for them. A relationship builder loves to create connections, whether or not it is connections with them directly or creating a bond with somebody. So later on down the road, you can say, oh my gosh, you know what, Jody, I have a friend that you would get along with so well. The two of you have so many things in common. Things like that, that is a relationship builder. They create those bonds, them and somebody else, but also between third parties.
And Brittany, can you give us the colors again that equate to that, to those four different things? So executing, what are the colors for that?
Okay, so executing is
Purple.
yes. And then strategic thinking
Green.
is okay. Influencing is orange.
Mhm.
And relationship building
Must be
It-
blue.
is blue. Yes.
And what's red?
Red is one of the old colors. They
I say I just took this one and it's got red on one, so I wasn't sure.
which strength is it? Is it red or orange?
It's red.
Okay.
It's analytical.
So that is I want to say analytical is strategic thinking.
That's what it says behind it.
Yeah. So analytical is that your number one?
No, this just is just strength finders themes, balconies and basements.
Oh,
Mine-
okay.
My new themes didn't come with colors.
Okay. Okay. So if I gotta think, because your balconies and basements only goes up to 10, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, analytical
I was
is
just curious.
strategic thinking. So if they show up as red, it's actually green now.
Okay.
All right. So I am going to start. Well, first of all, how many of you in here are high relationship builders? So when you determine if you are a high relationship builder or one of the others, you are going to look and see in your top 10, what do you have 3 or more of? So if you have, actually one of my sister sales directors had 7 relationship building in her top 10. Like, she was literally the person that you could call at 2 a.m. and say, hey, I need you to help me hide a body. And she'd be like, cool, let me bring the shovel and I'll see you there. Like, no questions asked. So we worked through that a little bit and worked with boundaries.
Well, I have a lot of one color, but it's not relationships.
Actually,
I guess mine doesn't have any colors, so I don't know.
I have
I've got
3 and 3.
4 blues in the top 10.
I'll send you
Okay.
this. I'll send you the colors, Leah, right now.
Jody,
But mine doesn't have any color.
You can
Yeah,
figure
but
it
you
out
can look
by,
at the word.
I'm
yeah,
looking
you
at
just
it.
look at the word.
Just a second.
I'm looking at it. Mine has no colors. Black and green people.
so Jody, I see you had a 5 up. What do you have 5 of?
Relationship.
Okay.
So Jude has 4 in relationship. Jody has 5. I have in my top 10,
Hmm.
2.
I only have
Okay.
1.
And that is okay. That is one thing. As you were learning about your strengths, just because you don't have a certain strength in your top 10, or if you are like, man, all influencing are low. Oh, I've only got 1 influencing. I've only got 1 relationship building. That does not mean that you can't be a successful director. It doesn't mean that you're terrible at, it doesn't mean anything other than you utilize other strengths to create that strength. So, for instance, people that do not have high competition, they might use a strategic thinking strength and an executing strength to create the embodiment, I guess, of competition. So it's just a matter of being able to look at yours and see what exactly you do to make things happen. And very quickly, if you do have your full strengths, your 1 through 34,
Mhm.
and you look at those bottom strengths, I'm talking like 28, 29. These are what is referred to as your bottom strengths. These are your tertiary strengths. These are the strengths that when you use them, if you use them that way, you are going to look weird. So if you picture it as your top 10 strengths are the nicest hammers in the world, and you are going to hang up a picture. So you need to make sure you've got a real nice hammer. It's going to go ding, 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 ding. You have your nail in the wall. You've got your picture hung up. Everything moves very smoothly. Your bottom strengths are a pile of ham sandwiches. And you're going, what? That has no correlation. Exactly. Because you're sitting there trying to put a nail in your wall by using ham sandwich. What's going to happen? It's going to be a mess. You're going to have mayo running down your arm. You're going to have lettuce and tomato flying everywhere. And if your friends came in and saw this, they'd put you in the loony bin because they're like, what are you doing? This is not who you are. So instead, we're going to just lay that ham sandwich down, eat it later, use the hammers, because those hammers are, that is where you are like successful. It's where it's like this sweet spot where people really like you and they are really attracted to you as a person because it is your most authentic self. When we try to use those bottom strengths and go, oh yeah, I totally love this, it turns into this weird little like snowball effect of discourse, and people can see through it, but they may not be able to put a name to it. So like I said, even though we don't have certain strengths up on top, we have those top 10 that are primary. We have everything in between, which is our secondary, and then we have our tertiary. So when you are looking at those strengths, if you can think about in your head, think about your sentence that goes along with, you know, oh, I'm an executor. Okay, I love to do everything in a way that honors my desires and ability to get things done. And maybe you're looking at yours and going, well, I have 3 relationship building, but I also have 3 executing. Okay, that's fine. You can have more than one. That's kind of what's cool about it, because if you have 3 or 4 of something and 3 or 4 of another one within those top 10, then you are a mixture of the two. You may be the type of person that loves to connect with people so that you can get things done. Or you may be the person that gets done in a timely manner so that you can connect with your right people. And that is something else to think about, is your right people and my right people could be totally different. So you want to make sure you're qualifying that statement and making sure that you are going, okay, how am I going to use my strengths to create this?
So Brittany, I have a question. We have a lot of consultants who took this at one point in time and they only did their top 5.
Right.
And then they just recently for this class took it again, and those top 5 have changed. My understanding is that isn't ordinary, but But then the last class I took, from what I gathered, is like your top 10 to 12, those actually can shift around a bit if they're pretty even.
Yes, and that is very true. So if you only took your top 5, if you have different ones in that top 5 now, chances are they were within your top 10. So if you took your top 5 and you want to open up your top 34, you do not have to take the test again. All you have to do is it says like unlock the rest or unlock 34 or whatever it is. So as long as you're in that same account, they did like they put all 34 of your strengths in the sequence that they belong. They're just not sharing it with you. I will let you know, as of January 1st, the price is going up $10. So if you want to take advantage of opening up the, definitely do it before the end of the year. And I do have the $10 off coupons that I can send you. It's the same code for everybody. But you just put it in, it's a promo code. You put it in your shopping cart and it immediately populates and shows, oh, it's $10 off. So when you have that full 34, not only are you given your strengths in order, but you're given what's called your top 5 insights. And these insights are amazing because they are designed just for you. So you have the generic small paragraph or a couple sentences that states what each strength is. But what they do for your top 5 insights is actually look at your strengths and they create this insight that makes a little culmination of those. And so you lead with, you lead with your 1, but chances are you're also going to utilize 2, 3, maybe 6, maybe 8. You never know what that exact combination is. But when you start pairing them together, it creates like a stronger bond of what you're working on. So those top 5 insights are really focused on who you are as a person, not just in generic. So I love going through those with people because there's a lot of information there. There's usually like 4 or 5 sentences that they put in each. And once you start reading them out loud, there's typically 1 or 2 that you're like, that's me, that's not. So it's really easy to see where that focus point is. Oh no, Leah. You're losing the Zoom. Is anybody else having that issue?
Leah, it could be your weather.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say it's your connection. Sorry.
And I have some of this information like readily available. I send out a message to you guys and you can hear it as well.
That would
I'm
be
more-
great, Brittany.
Yes.
Yeah, because I didn't hear anything about, I heard promo code and that was the last thing I heard about promo code.
She's going to send us the promo code also, Leah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Because I get like 350 of them a year. So I would love for them to get used. And when you get really confident in those strengths, all of a sudden things kind of change a little bit in how you do things. It starts becoming routine to be in those strengths instead of like kind of flipping a switch and being like, oh, I need to use my strengths now. All of a sudden it just becomes, it's almost like a second language where you just kind of like morph into it and you're like, this is who I am. And I think that you will find that you feel better when you are in those strengths. I mean, you guys, this goes down to, are you the type of person that wants to have a gym membership because you need to have that accountability, and you're a high relationship builder and you need to make sure people know what you're doing and have somebody that is making sure you're keeping on task? Are you the person that wants a gym membership because you want to see what you're doing and you're an influencer and you want to, share that and inspire others? Are you a person that just wants to come home, do something on the TV, on your phone, whatever it is, and get it done, like an executor? Are you a strategic thinker that goes, is there a gym that's super close to me? Or am I better off just doing it at home because then I only pay once a year and I know that I can do it in my time? Like, these are 4 very different people. And what you will also find, okay, so I'm kind of going to transition a little bit, because you are going to run into these 4 people every day that you are making connections with Mary Kay. You are going to find these people when you are doing career chats and when you are facialing and when you are trying to build your team. And if you can literally, you guys, if you can basically keep those 4 sentences that I started with in your head, you are going to be able to break down a person very quickly as far as what their needs are, what their pain point is, and how you're going to be able to fix it with Mary Kay, with your connections, with whatever it is. So relationship builders are going to be super excited about the friends they are going to make, about the connections they are going to make, about the leaders that they're going to meet, about the people. It's about the people. Your influencers are going to want that car. They are going to want that recognition. They are going to want that TR. They are going to want to go quickly. Your strategic thinkers, they are going to want to see the numbers. How do I go into senior? How do I go into red jacket? How do I go into, elite team leader so I can earn a car? But it's not about the car. It's about, this is all I need to know. Like, these are the only numbers I have to know. I know I get 50%. I know that at 10, I can go into DIQ. I know at 30, I can become a director. These numbers are going to mean more to them than a lot of other things. Show me the money. Show them those numbers. Your executor is going to see these different steps as something to check off. Oh, I only need 1 person to become a senior. Check. I can do that tomorrow. Oh, I only need 3 to become, red jacket. Great. And I get a jacket. That's cool. There's only 3 of these in the company. These are the things your executor is going to go bink, 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 and literally start checking boxes. So you can bring up those different things when you're doing a career chat. And if you say, Jody, we are, you're helping out Mary Beth today by being on this career chat. And I would love to hear about you. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. And then I'd love to hear your questions. So let's get started. Tell me about you. And now you have the floor, and I am simply listening to who you are. I'm listening to what excites you. I'm listening to you talk about your family, about, what did you used to do in a career? These are the things that once you start picking them up, people are going to jump very quickly, because you are hearing what they want. You're hearing what makes them succeed. And when you have somebody that is very much a relationship builder, Zoom calls, getting together in person for coffee. You know, do I love earning free makeup? Yes. But I will do anything for my national or my sales director if I get to go get a cup of coffee with them. I will make things happen because I love getting to spend time with them. And they know that. So instead of earning a pair of earrings, instead of earning $600, prize from Mary Kay, I'm like, cool, look, to hang out with you, to spend time with you. And then I create my checklist and go, bink, 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 done. I'm there. Mission accomplished. So if you can pick out those different things, it will very quickly multiply. And people are going to see that you're interested in them. Because we know it's ultimately about them. It's not about us. But when we get to be ourselves and we get to show them that vulnerability and that it gives them the true Mary Kay experience. All right, so I want to, let's see. All right, so Joanne, I am going to start with you. And I don't know if you guys can see me at this moment or not. But Joanne, you have 34. So can I share this? Can I share my?
Hold on. I have to
I'm
open up
maybe quite
so
a
you
bit
can-
because little people are not supposed to be down here.
All good.
Okay, you should be able to share now.
Okay. I want to share my screen. Okay. Boop. So we're going to jump here. Okay. So Joanne, first of all, are you okay with me sharing your strengths
Yes.
and going with you? Awesome. Okay. So the first thing you guys may notice, let's check out those bottoms. Hey. All right. Relationship building is not necessarily your forte. But let's check out that top. You have 3 strategic thinking, you have 3 influencing, and you have 3 executing. What? No. What am I looking at? Yes. And then you have individualization, which is a wonderful relationship building strength to have. So Joanne, I do not know you personally, but as I am looking at this, you are the person that people go to when they need an answer. When they're going, I have all these different things and I don't know what to do. And I am overwhelmed because it doesn't seem to be going right. You're the one that can look at all of those answers, all of those different pieces and go, this is the right one. Strategic is, if you think about it, like you see the letters A through Z, and behind each of those letters is a possibility of an outcome. You are the person that can say Q is the correct answer, and that's the one we should go with. That is the best strength that is the best one for, sorry, I was trying to go back to the video. That is the best one for us to go with. And everybody else is probably going, yeah, but what about A through P? We didn't try any of those. How do we know that Q is the right one? That, there's a lot of other choices first. A learner takes in
Everything.
as much information as possible.
Mhm.
I refer to learners as like little dragons. Because if you ever think of like dragons and they like hoard things, like as learners, we are like we're information hoarders. Like
That's
how much of this can I learn? And you never know. It's like, you know, it's like having that junk drawer of old cables or old cords that you know one day it's going to come in handy. Why do I know the, you know,
Everything.
everything?
Everything.
But-
No, it's actually awesome because I used to have Chinese exchange students and so I found out that I was born in the year of the dragon.
That is so
And they were like, ooh. And I was like, yeah, I'm a dragon, so watch out.
Oh, well, and your maximizer comes into play because a maximizer is the person that if they have an opportunity, they will take something from like an A to an A plus.
Mhm.
Maximizers can sometimes be put aside as intimidating. And sorry, what was that, Joanne?
I say perfectionist.
Perfectionist, yes. And it becomes intimidating because it's like, man, nothing is ever good enough.
Mhm.
But what it is you just see so much potential in things and you want to put out the best product possible. Focus is simply about being able to stay straight on one task. So focus is actually an acronym that I use
Mhm.
daily. It's follow one course until success.
Mhm.
And it's simply keeping those blinders on and doing what you have to do. Individualization is one of my favorite strengths. It is the type of person that is going to notice that you got your hair cut, even if it was just a trim. It's a detailed person, somebody that cares about the little things. You know, it's the, oh, man, you know what? I saw this small item and I thought of you. You know what? I saw this candy bar. I know it's your favorite. So I hope this makes your day good. Like it's very simple things, but it's consistently about others. Like it has nothing to do with who I am. I just wanted to give you this because I thought it would make you have a good day. I wanted you to know I was thinking about you. Responsibility can be difficult. Having those boundaries is really important, Miss Joanne,
Mhm.
because it's really easy to say yes. Of course, that's my responsibility. Sure, I'll do that. Oh, absolutely. I know how to do that. I've got the learner in me. I can get it done. It's going to look beautiful because of my maximizer. I can focus on it and not worry about anything else. Well, that's wonderful. But not everything is your responsibility, is it, Joanne?
No.
Good.
I do say sometimes that no is a complete sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. And context is about your past. So people that have high, so context is about the past. It's about, we're going to do this because I did it this way last time and it was very successful. It's looking at that past and being able to learn from it and utilize it in another capacity. Adaptability, which is way down at 33. That is like present time. So that is going with the flow. If something goes out of whack, I can just kind of move and keep going. So you're probably going, okay, but I can do that. I can do that. I don't have an issue if I have to change course. Okay. But strategic, you already know A through Z. So you know that if Q doesn't work, you know that X is the next best choice. It's not a matter of being adaptable to it. You utilize the strategic thinking portion and go, this is what will work. Adaptability is more of the relationship building side of, oh, that's totally fine that you bailed on my plans. It's And then you have the heuristic, which is your number 12. And that is about utilizing what you're doing now to make momentum for the future. So how can doing this now project me? How can this be a catalyst? How can I move it forward to get to my end game? So if you, my guess with that strategic learner focus, you probably like the 90-day, 90-day challenges, or 12-week year. Any of those ways to start from the end, potentially, and work your way back. Discipline is wonderful, and discipline is being able to stick to your routine even when nobody else is watching. And that's also a responsibility thing. Oh, you know what? I'm responsible for learning this. Nobody else is keeping up with me, but I'm supposed to show up with this information. I better do it. Competition is being excited to win, because it gives you an opportunity to show others that it can be done. And then woo is literally about winning others over. You are able to talk to them in pretty much any capacity. You can make a conversation with the grocery store clerk just because you notice a bracelet they're wearing. Like, again, you have that learner, so you can pull out a random fact that all of a sudden connects you. So where relator falls for you is 13. And relator is another relationship building, but it is a strength about having solid connections. So just for context, includer is 32 for you. So if you go to a party, a Christmas party or something like that, you are either going to go find somebody that you know, or you are more likely to go find the dog.
Yeah, no, I'll find somebody I know.
Yep. And like the thing is, because you have that woo, yes, you can absolutely talk to everybody. You can win them over with your personality and be charming. But ultimately, within a minute or two, you have a pretty clear understanding if that person is one of your people or not. So your relator is, it's your, if you think of it like ABC, you have your always there for you people. You have your B is like maybe be there for a season. And your C people are the see you later. You search out your A people and your B people. You don't even deal with the C people. And your B people have a really, really hard time at moving into category A. Okay.
Yeah.
It is only reserved for certain people. And they, you know, that's your tribe. That's your like your true, like those are the people you do life with.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
So, that's, and a lot of you have some of these similar strengths. So as you were looking through these and going, oh man, what about that one? If you notice consistency and you're going, well, but I'm consistent. I do my daily mental bath. I make sure I contact my people every day. I make sure that I sell 2 skincare sets every week. I am really excited for you. That is not what consistency is about when it comes to Gallup Strengths. With them, consistency is about how you treat people. Somebody with individualization is going to treat people differently because we see those small things. Whereas somebody who is not in individualization, they may not notice those little things. They may notice the bigger things, but there's that difference. And when you have consistency, it's pretty much about like treating everybody the same. It's that kind of equality portion. And that's where it kind of can split into that relator and includer as well. Includers are the ones that can walk into the middle of a party and somehow they can just make friends. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds super like anxiety to me. Because I'm just like, oh my goodness, I can't imagine doing that. But it's a matter of like being able to find that common ground very quickly. And relators like to take their time. They, especially having that relator and strategic, Joanne, you can look around and go, oh, that is not my person, because you see something that they are doing. It's about how they are showing themselves as well. And that will make a big difference. Okay, I'm gonna jump into somebody else's strengths. We're gonna see what else we can find. Oh, Joanne. So here, one thing I want to show you, and this will be for anybody that has their top 30 or their that has their 34. Boop, there we go. Okay, so when you look just a couple pages down, this is where those insights come into play. So, how you can thrive. You create alternative ways to proceed. Faced with any given scenario, you can quickly spot the relevant patterns and issues. Guess what, Joanne? I have strategic number 1 also, and it says the exact same thing. Hey-oh. But now, why your strategic is unique. These are not the same as mine, because yours, going back up here, have to do with strategic and learner and maximizer and focus and individualization and some of those other ones, because it's about how you use those together. When you are a strategic learner, you are probably more focused on, okay, I need to learn this certain topic because I know I'm going to be having a conversation with my husband's boss in a week, and he loves golf. I know nothing about it, but I want to be able to talk to him. If you're using strategic and focus, okay, I have this deadline. I know I have to get this done. I'm going to lock myself in this room. I'm going to set a timer, and I will take the time that I need to make it happen. Strategic and individualization. You can probably come up with a really cool scavenger hunt that is, okay, I am looking for women that have this trait, this trait, this trait. Maybe she's a nurse, maybe she's a teacher, maybe she's got brown hair, black hair, blue hair, whatever it is. but you're looking for certain personality traits. And you are going to utilize that piece of paper or that scavenger hunt to create an outcome, whether it's finding new team members, whether it's finding new people to facial, whether it's creating parties. You have a point to it. So when you look at those unique qualities, all of a sudden it makes a really big difference because it's kind of a culmination of what's happening. So you see that, you jump down, you also are able to see how to maximize your potential. And then you're able to see blind spots. So actually, I'm going to pull up Maximizer because Maximizer is you focus on strengths as a way to stimulate personal and group excellence. You seek to transform something strong into something superb. So those blind spots, this is where, you know, if you think of like the balconies and basements, this is kind of your basement. So, you know, if you get disappointed because a project falls short of excellent, my guess is you did not enjoy group projects in high school because you had to do all the work. And everybody wanted to be paired with you because they knew you'd be getting an A. So those are a couple things just to kind of watch for. Okay. Download. We want that one. Okay. Sorry, I like unread everybody's things so I could like find them quickly. Cause I'm like, how do I make this? I get too many emails. Okay. And here I've got Ashley. Is Ashley on? Oh, Strat. I keep doing that.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Ashley. So you have
Hi.
strategic number 1 also.
Absolutely.
And you have activator. Those are my 1 and 2 also. So that's brilliant. Okay. And I mean, just checking out, you know, your top. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 strategic thinking, and you have 4 influencing. So if you had to decide, are you the type of person that wants to think, create, and learn so that you can move people forward? Or would you rather move people forward and then think, create, or learn?
That's so hard. I don't know. Say 'em
Honestly,
again.
it could be situational. Would you rather think, create, and learn? So would you rather get all the information so that you can help move people forward? Or would you rather move people forward and then go think, create, and learn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move them
Okay.
forward and then.
Okay. And that's perfect. You know, you have that activator, you've got that woo, you have that maximizer, you have that communication. So we've already talked through a couple of these, so I'm not going to go like back over them, but let's start with positivity. I mean, that is a relationship building strength, and it is a powerful one. And it's also one that it needs boundaries. Have you seen that before where you're told, why it's too early to be this happy?
Yes.
Why are you so positive about this? Everything is wrong. Let's see. And it's hard, right? Because we
At least you didn't die. Like,
yes, like it could be so much worse. Yes. And that is a really hard, it's a hard stop to put on because we see the good in bad. And people probably, you know, even if you tell something that some people would deem like traumatic or like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a terrible day. You're going, okay, but I woke up. Okay, but I got to have a really good breakfast. Okay, but I got like 4 things done on my list. Oh my gosh, I got to connect with these people, and all of them decided that they want to become directors, and that means I get to work with them closer. So what if you spilled your coffee? It's fine. You can go get another one, right?
Mhm.
Small things, small things. So with that positivity and then pairing it up with woo, you are just the epitome of a cheerleader. You are the person that people come to because they want to be cheered on and they want to know that what they are doing matters. But on the flip side, if they're not doing anything, it's real hard to cheer them on. Like, cool. I'm super glad that you are finally getting to step 3 and we've been working on this for 2 months. Like, proud of you. You're there. I'll be waiting until you're ready to move forward.
I think that's where my other strengths come in, because then I'm like, I'm like crass in a way that's like, wait a minute. Yeah.
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 And having that input, so input is kind of I refer to it as the Sherlock Holmes strength. It's being able to take the information and utilize it at the right time and put it together. Whether it's something that you learned yesterday plus something you learned 3 years ago, somehow you can create that magical ideation that comes next. You can come up with that idea and you can go, here's how we're going to do it. And then we're going to woo that person because I know that this is how they are going to move forward. I know that this is going to be their, this is what'll drive them. And then, you've got that responsibility. And again, watch those boundaries. It becomes one of those things where whatever it is in life, you can't want it more than somebody else. If they don't want it for themselves, it's not going to happen. You have that maximizer high, being able to reach those high peaks. You have that learner. So you have learner and input, and they complement each other very well, because not only do you learn about certain things that you're interested in, but you can also categorize them and go, oh, you know what? Like, oh, I need this information, whether it's a phone number from 30 years ago that you can still pull out of your hat, but it's there and it's just hanging out ready to go.
That's funny. I know my library card number. And they look at me every time. Like, I'm like, are you ready for it? And they're like, what? Your card number? I'm like, yes. I don't have my card anymore. I have my number. Like, you know your number? I'm like, yes. It's weird.
I totally get it. See, but those are like, that is what's really cool about these strengths, is because that's who you are. So, and then you have communication. And although, like, yes, communication is how you communicate, it's also a matter of how you are with people. Like, it's because it's an influencing strength. It's about using that communication to better what somebody is doing. It's not just like arbitrary communication. Like, you have a point to what you're doing. When you are communicating with people, it's because you know what they want. You guys have established that, this person wants to become a director, so we are going to work closely. This person has told me that they want to be a personal use consultant. I'm going to follow up with her in 3 to 6 months. And that is the communication. You are making it more individualized for certain people. And then it's actually interesting because you have another influencing, followed by another strategic thinking. And that's command and futuristic. We talked about futuristic being a forward thinker, but command goes very closely with woo. Being able to command a room, being able to walk in and say, okay, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. People that have high strategic, sometimes it makes it difficult because when we jump, you know, we see all those different options and we jump to something that isn't the first option. People look at us and go, well, how do you know? How do you know that's the right one? They struggle with seeing our train of thought and being able to understand, oh, you already went through all of these scenarios in the last 10 seconds while we were discussing this? Yes, I did. With that command and with that communication, you are able to take that and say, here's why. It's not arbitrary. Here is why we are going to do it this way, or here's why this is the best course of action for now. We can always change our minds, but this is where we should start. And that is really fantastic because, again, I'm sure people come to you a lot for advice. Say, how can I do this? And the worst part is when they go, oh, I need your advice, and then they don't take it. Because it's like, what did I spend my time for? Like, I love you, you're my friend, but if you don't want my advice, why? And that is something, so you have restorative 27. But somebody with restorative high tends to be the person that can step into a situation and figure out a solution. And unfortunately with high restorative, if you have high restorative, one of the like hiccups with it is taking it upon yourself to give a person a solution instead of asking first and saying, am I here to listen or am I here for advice? Because that's two very different things, right? Sometimes we have people that are just like, I just need to vent. Here's all the things. And sometimes we have people that are like, I need your help with this. And it's very different ways of looking at things. So when you have somebody that is restorative, one of the blind spots with it is being very eager to provide that solution instead of waiting and seeing if somebody even wants it. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was somebody that had it high. I don't think it was Margie. Nope. So, and Margie, you have that high relator. So you are the type of person that you create those really solid connections. You have maximizer high too. You guys, I love this. I love this. So no wonder you guys are all stars. Intellection is working with the information that you have to create a solid thought. Making sure that you're following those different levels of intellect. It's wanting to find out more so that you can have the best opinion on something or have all the facts. Achiever is being able to get things done. And this one, yeah, I think Joanne, both you and Ashley have high activator, if I'm not mistaken. Now I'm getting them jumbled. So activator and achiever are very different. Activator is the person that gets started. They are, you know, if you tell them that you want to do something, they're like, great, let's do it. Now. It'd be very easy for an activator to lose interest and go, okay, I got to start it. I'm going to move on to the next thing now. Achievers feel that sense of completeness and yay, I accomplished this once they can check it off their list. Once it's done, they want to see the end. And then consistency, we talked about, and, you know, a reminder that it's not about anything other than how we treat people. Do, 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 do. All right. Ooh, so this is, okay. Is Leah back on? Was she able to jump back on? I know she was having troubles.
I'm on my phone. I got it.
Yay! Okay, so you have input, which we talked about. You have high relator, being able to create those really close-knit relationships. But I love that you have empathy as your number 3. Empathy is being able to feel those other feelings, feelings from other people. You can put yourself in situations and understand where somebody is coming from.
Yeah.
And it's
Empathy
being,
first.
yeah, and it's a, you know, it's not a matter of like judging how somebody else is feeling on it. It's simply going, I hear you, I accept what you're feeling, and I am here with you. And it's a really cool way of connecting with people, having you know, having that relator and that empathy as relationship building strengths. And then you have futuristic, and that is being able to just jump into that next challenge because you know it's going to pull you closer to your end game. And then you have learner. So you have learner and input both in your top 5. Like you are an information machine.
The funny thing is that like Mary Beth was talking about, my top 5 that I took 6 years ago changed from 6 years ago to today, or to what this a couple weeks ago.
And it absolutely can happen. So typically, I mean, if you go through something super traumatic or a really big life change, having a baby, moving to a different country, getting married, like those things can absolutely change where your strengths are at. And there is a possibility that it pulls in one that wasn't originally in your top 10. But typically it's not going to be like, well, this one was your 34 and now it's your number 1. Like it won't be anything drastic like that.
Well, that's good.
Yes. Okay, so I want that. I've already accepted. Okay, we're just gonna do that. We want that. Yay. Okay. So Mary Beth, let's look at yours. So right off the bat, in your top 5, you have for strategic thinking. And then you have 2 more that kind of sandwich everything in. I love it. Okay. So there is really no doubt that that is simply who you are as a person. You are about thinking, you are about creating, or you are about learning, or a combination of those. And if you have an opportunity to, you are going to come up with the best answer possible. So you have activator 1 and strategic 2. So instead of looking at all those options first, you're like, you know what, let's get started. And we're just kind of gonna, we know what the options are, but we got to get this started. We can change it if we need to, but if we don't get something on paper, it's never going to happen. You know, we've talked through input, we've talked through ideation and intellection. You have that high individualization, so you're able to see where people fit. You know, you can connect people that are a really good match, whether it, you know, that could be for accountability. With that high individualization, like, you know what, these people are going to be really good on a team. Maybe we should do a relay, and these 4 are going to work really well because this person is great at being accountable, or because these 4 have a lot of similarities and they're going to be good at checking in with each other and making sure somebody got a booking before they move on to the next one. You know, relator, especially as a leader, having that relator is huge because you are around so many people and you are being introduced to so many people that being able to still keep that close-knit group while also welcoming others in is like, it's really wonderful. And then you have achievers, so getting those things done. And then you have futuristic and learner. So you are truly just, how can we make this better? You know, with that maximizer, how can we make this happen? How can we bring this idea into fruition? What is going to make this successful? And that is really cool. Are there any, okay, so we have a couple minutes left. I don't think I got through everybody's strengths. Is there any in particular that anybody would like to talk through, that you have questions about, that you're going, why is this my top 10? This is not who I am. Anything that you would like to know?
I have a question on mine. I don't have any influencing items until 22.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. There's nothing wrong. That's okay. So all that means is when you need to influence people or you need to help them move forward, you are utilizing other strengths to do it. Jude, did you share yours with me?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Let's see.
I did a
Right there. Okay. Yes. So you have developer, arranger, restorative, strategic, and includer. Oh, I love all this strategic happening. Okay. So developer. Developer is a relationship building strength, but it is about building others up. And so you can utilize that and restorative and includer to create that influencing strength. Because when you are developing people, you are feeling accomplished because you're seeing what people are capable of. That's the thing. Restorative, so maximizer wants to take things from an A to an A+. Restorative just wants to put things at the status quo. Restorative is happy at like a C or a C+. Because it's done, we can move on with our lives, and it's good enough. But when you have that developer, it's because you can see that somebody has potential. So you use that restorative to go, okay, what's your pain point? Do you want a solution? And if so, is it something that I can offer? And if it's not, do I have somebody else that has something else to offer? So when you use that and your includer, which gives you that opportunity to talk to anybody, you can influence people without being an influencer. And then you have a ranger. And a ranger is basically, to me, like when I see a ranger, I literally just think of a music director that knows that there are 16 different parts happening and they know exactly where to go, who needs that, ba, ba, da, 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 and they are keeping it all together. And how they are leading 80 people, 100 people, 300 people into this beautiful culmination, because everybody has their own part.
I
But it all
am the music director at 2 churches, and and I played for many funerals and big, a number of people, and
yes,
Oh my gosh.
funny.
that is. It's kind of perfect.
Yeah, that one fits.
So what else?
Will you talk to us about belief? I don't think you mentioned that
Yes.
one at all.
Absolutely. So belief is a finicky little bugger. People with high belief can come across as a lot, because people with high belief tend to have very strong opinions on things. They are very sure of, they're not going to falter. They're not the ones that are waffling on different things. Now, if you have that high input or high learner, you are going to make sure that you have all that information, and high intellection or analytical, like you are getting all that information before you cast your belief out there. But they are not people that are easily swayed. They will truly go for what they believe in. And belief people are nearly unstoppable. They will get things done, because belief is not a relationship building strength. It is an executing strength. So it is about getting things done your right way. Mary Beth, you could tell me that you became a $1 million national and this is how you did it, and I would say that's super awesome, but you talk to a lot more people than I ever want to be around. And you did these with like 70 people, and that's really intimidating to me. And I'm going to go, I'm super proud of you and I'm really excited for you, but that will not work for me. And it comes down to like, belief people are stubborn. they have a stubborn streak. And I like, seriously guys, like it's my number 7. I am the first to admit it. Sorry, it's my number 8. Yeah, it's my number 8. But it's a matter of having that sense of self and understanding that just because it worked for somebody else doesn't mean it has to work for me. Just because it didn't work for somebody else doesn't mean it won't work for me. And if we work together, there's a strong possibility I can learn something from you.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, because that one used to be really high on my list and it isn't anymore. It's like
Okay.
for 18, but like you said, I've had a lot of life things happen, but I can see how that changed. I went from being very stubborn and hard-headed, strong-willed to
Yeah.
getting my, knocked out from under me and realizing, oh, maybe that's different. Maybe not. So I can see why that's different, because I'm like, well, it used to be so high for me, but it
Yeah.
isn't anymore. And as you describe it, I'm like, that isn't me anymore. I still have that. I can still default to that, but that isn't what.
And that's a good way to say it. I mean, because 18 isn't super low. I mean, you can still, like, if you look in those secondary strengths, those are the ones that you pull out kind of when you need to. It's situational. It's not your daily go-to. But, if you know that you need to stand up for something, you're going to. So, yeah.
Can
So
you go over harmony and deliberative?
So harmony is wanting to make sure everything, trying to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. It's going, you know what? I understand that this task does not fulfill you, and it's a really difficult one for you to get behind. Why don't we put somebody who really enjoys that in that position? And I would love to find something that resonates more for you. Harmony does not like conflict. And it's not a matter of running away from conflict. That's raw harmony. So you have raw and then you have mature. So raw harmony goes, mom and dad are fighting, and runs away. When you become mature harmony, all of a sudden you can look at that conflict and go, how can I help? How can we diffuse this? Who is not being heard? What is not being communicated? And they can become the objective and look at both sides and try to help clear the air. Deliberative is the person that enjoys meetings. I don't mean these meetings. These meetings are fun. I'm talking about sitting in a boardroom and playing with Parley Pro and being like, yes, this fulfills me to my end. I love being in the corporate world and getting to talk through these things. No, I jest a little bit. That's kind of dramatic, but it's the person that loves to debate. They love looking at both sides and going, okay, well, it could be this, or they may play the devil's advocate and be like, I'm going to give you the really awful choice just because I want to discuss. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I want to pull out your vulnerabilities. So deliberative can how do I explain it? They can kind of draw information out because they are willing to provide information. If that makes any sense. Like they'll give some information so that they can find out your thoughts on things.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can you tell me about focus? Maybe
Yeah.
we covered it already, but I missed it.
That's okay. So focus, I use an acronym. It's follow one course until successful.
Mhm.
And being able to focus is being able to shut off that outside world or outside noise, literally and figuratively, and be able to work on one task until you feel you've gotten enough done. So whether that is setting an alarm for 10 minutes because you know that is how much time you are able to dedicate to this, or whether it's setting a 10-minute break because you know that you're going to fall down a rabbit hole if you start scrolling Facebook and you need something to remind you and pull you out of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What other questions can I ask, or what other strengths can I talk you through?
Okay, I have a question. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
if you look at, and I feel like I've already got a lot of attention, but
You're-
like the bottom half of my strengths, 50% of them are relationship building.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, so I'm clearly not a relationship person.
But not necessarily. Not necessarily. Let me see. Okay, so Joanne,
But you have woo in number 10.
yeah. You have see, now I'm gonna be going crazy because I already clicked on yours and I'm
It's
gonna
fine.
clear it.
Yeah.
No,
It's like the bottom 5, like 4 of the bottom 5 are relationship building strengths.
and that's okay. That's okay. Because harmony, developer, includer, adaptability, and empathy. Okay. Now let's look at what you've got up top. Okay. You have maximizer. You don't need restorative because restorative is not going to put you, it's not going to put, it's not enough. You are utilizing, you take people from that C, from that good enough for government work, all the way up to their full potential. And the same with, you've got developer low. Great. Because you're using that maximizer, you're using that woo, and you are being strategic with them so they know how to do it. You don't have to do it with the relationship building strength. You can do it from a standpoint of, I'm here to guide you. I'm not here to hold your hand. And that's a very, somebody that has high relationship building, they can tend to, to want to, they want to create that connection. Whereas like an executor or a strategic thinker, like they are okay working on their own. And then influencers, they can move people forward, but that person has to decide that they want to move forward. So really all it comes down to is you're more picky or more selective about the people that you have connections with. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, it does. I'm sorry. I keep muting because I've got a toddler in range.
You're fine. I have a 3-year-old, so I get it. I get it.
What I hear from that then is like, it's sort of, because I'm similar to you, Joanne. A lot of ours are really like in similar category spots. But what I hear from that too is like, I find myself giving to that 80% of the people that don't want to do anything, where I want to focus my 20%. And that's when I see my woo taking over, like everybody da-da-da. It's like, no, they don't. Like, I try to work with that top 20% that want to be worked with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, because I don't have relationship building either. The woo is it. That's it. That's basically all I got up here. Yeah. And so I see that. I can totally see that about myself. And maybe that's the same for you, Joanne. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I left. I was like, oh, empathy is 34. I'm like, oh.
But that's okay. All that it means is you don't have to put yourself exactly in somebody's position to be able to understand how they're feeling.
So Brittany, what I think I'm hearing you say is, when you live in your strengths and lead in your strengths, you come off more authentic, but that doesn't mean that any of your strengths diminish your power, because sometimes your strengths are balancing out some of the other things. And as long as you're living in your strengths and not trying to, woo's pretty low for me. So for instance, if I'm not trying to pretend to be woo, but living in my strengths of strategy, then I'll come off more authentic than if I'm trying to live in woo.
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when you are your most authentic self, you are being vulnerable and you are opening up that opportunity to other people that it's okay to be their real self too.
Excellent.
I have to tell you, this was so powerful. I took the top 5 years ago. I don't even remember how many years ago it was that we originally did it. At that time they said, don't worry about, 6 through 34. You don't even need to look at those. Just look at your top 5. And I've always kind of been curious, but I've never gone back and taken the test. But now to actually look at my 6 through 34, to me, it's really empowering because it's like, okay, that's why, so Joanne, you and I are so opposite. I've got all this relationship up in the top, and my bottom 4 are strategic. So I'm like, my learner is number 34. So I'm like, but you know what? It's so freeing because it's like, that's why I'm not like that. That's why, when, some of these things that Mary Beth is like super high in, her and I are like flip-flop, Woo is my number 2. And
Yeah.
So it's
why
so
you-
powerful.
It's why you complement each other.
Exactly.
The two of you create that full entity or whatever you want to say. And, it's fun because like a lot of times people will look at those bottom strengths and say, oh man, I really need to be more of this. No, you don't. You do not. Please do not try
I love
to
that.
move your bottom strengths up because you have your top strengths for a reason. And it's not a matter of chance. It's who you are. So I actually, I did this 4 years ago now. And I just learned, like in the last month, I don't know if any of my strategic thinkers here can relate, but if somebody gives me a maze, I do it from the end.
Yeah, I've
I go backwards.
done that.
Uh-huh. It's a lot, isn't it? Why? Because those 2 words are separate. Like but what it comes down to is if you have futuristic high, if you have a lot of strategic thinking high, you want to start from the end and work your way back. So all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, man, in elementary school and stuff, like kids used to be like, you can't start at the end. That's cheating, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going, yeah, but I just did the same thing. I just did it a different way. Why is that wrong? And literally a month ago, I was like, futuristics number 6. Of course. Strategics number 1. Of course I do it that way. Why wouldn't I? And so just these different things that, all of a sudden you'll be like looking into these things and being like, okay, so this thing that happened 10 years ago clearly had an effect on how I do things today. I learned how to play piano when I was 4 years old. Discipline is my number 5. I am all about routine. And when I can stay in that routine and I know what's happening, I am a very happy Brittany. When things become chaotic, I turn into a little puddle of Brittany on the floor. Like, don't mess with my flow. And it culminates. So that's what's cool about this test. It's not just what's happened to you in the last 24 hours. It's truly who you are as a person. And when you can love yourself for that, and you can love yourself through what you've done and through everything. And I know there's always hiccups, right? There's always hiccups. Doesn't matter if you have context high. Not, you learn from things. You learn from that past. But when you can step into those strengths and say, this is who I am, it's real powerful, you guys. It's pretty cool.
I do think that if you have not opened up your 34, I would use Brittany's code and open up your 34. I think that area that she talked about, the Strengths Insight Guide, is so powerful. When you
Yeah.
read that, you're going, oh my gosh, how did somebody get in my brain? That's really the way you feel. So Brittany, I think that that was huge information to be able to explain what that insight is and how that works, because that's what I thought when I read it. I didn't understand what you said. I didn't know that. I just knew somebody was in my brain when I read that.
It's like having somebody read like a crystal ball. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
So I do think that that's worth that. Does anybody else have any other questions for Brittany? Well, Brittany, you just filled our heads, hearts, and minds. I mean, it was just wonderful. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
absolutely. And I do offer, I offer one-on-ones for people. I do 4-week courses. I do 6-week courses. I do one-time, let's jump through and let's create, you know, your own statement. And I'll send you guys, like, I'll send you what that looks like, but it basically becomes your own mantra. And what's cool about it is because just to have the same top 5 as somebody else is 1 in 1.4, nope. 1 in, 1.4 million.
Wow.
To have the same top 6 is, I want to say, 1 in 1.2 billion. And to have the same top 7 is a number so large that by the year 2050, we will not have even had that many people cross Earth.
Wow.
So these are truly your strengths. They're nobody else's. And, you know, it's when I go through and work with somebody to create their statement, it's a living thing. It changes all the time. Sometimes, you know, it becomes, I need one statement that I can say every day. Sometimes it becomes, you know what, I need to have this up on my wall and I need to read through it every day, and it needs to be, you know, a paragraph. It's the culmination of your top strengths, and we work through it together. And it's a lot of fun. So
That's
yeah.
great. And I also would encourage all of you to go into the app and find the sharing feature and make sure you share all of this with your sales director, because for her to be a good leader to you, if she can see those insights, if she can see some of that, that will really be powerful for the two of you. So, and if any of my consultants want to see mine, I'm okay. I'm pretty much an open book. So I'm willing to share it back. And I don't imagine any of the other directors would have a problem with that. So because it is a matter of trusting each other and understanding how we work together. And please, please, please do not think that you're bad at something or you're smaller because something is low. I remember that when we first did this, somebody kind of made fun of me because my woo was so low. And I remember that kind of took me aback, but she didn't understand that's just not who I am.
Mm.
And that doesn't mean that I'm less of a person. And I don't want any of you to ever feel that way. We do work through our strengths. And when you're around somebody who feels authentic, but lifts you up, it's because she's working within her strengths. And that's who you guys are, because you're on here, you're winners, you're leaders. And so feel really good about that. Am I right with that, Brittany?
Absolutely.
Mary,
Absolutely.
Mary Beth, my woo is at 33.
It's 32
I'm
for
sitting
high
at 28, so
What is yours?
28.
Oh, mine's like 20. It's down there.
Mine,
In
I
the
got you
high
beat.
20s.
I got you beat. I was never a cheerleader.
I
in
tried, I
club,
failed.
you know.
I wasn't living in my authentic self. Let me put it that way. So we want to close out with a little recognition. So I'm going to turn it over to Lori Langen. But before I do that, Jody, is there anything that you want to share? I know, first of all, thank you, Jody, for arranging this with Brittany. It's been wonderful. So could everybody just give Brittany a big round of applause?
Awesome.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it, Brittany. Jody, anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I mean, this was, like I said, this was very, very eye-opening and very freeing to know that, you know, it's okay that's where my lesser strengths are down there on the bottom, and they can stay there because those are not, I mean, they are a part of you yet, but they are not the part that you work in the most. So it's okay. And so that was really freeing just to learn all of that.
That's great. That's great. Thanks again,
Brittany,
Brittany.
thank you. This has done so much more for me than just getting this paperwork and reading it. I'm like, none of it really made any sense. But as you started taking all of the different scenarios and how they work together, this has been very, very powerful for me. So thank you for taking the time away from your family and so close to the holidays. I just want you to know that I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Yay. So
Have a-
Lori, we've got some stars on tonight.
Guys, I just want to tell you that I'm so proud to be on this screen with the future directors and national sales directors that will offspring from Mary Beth, from myself, and from Jody. I can't tell you how important it is that you develop STAR. And what makes me so proud is to know that every single one of you have developed this skill. Why is this skill important? Yes, Strength Finders is like over the top important, but STAR Consultant is the number one skill I feel as a consultant to move up that ladder. Why?
Consistency.
In mind. And when you're focused on STAR, you work that full circuit. So first of all, you guys, I apologize. One of the struggles that I do have in this condo, are y'all froze? Mary Beth, are you froze?
No, you're frozen,
Sure.
Lori. We're fine. Yeah, Lori,
Can you hear
you're
me now?
probably going to have to get this little thing that you stick up and it magnifies, because there's something about, because those condos are hurricane proofed, you're going to have to get a magnifier. And you and I can talk about it. I'll ask Dustin what you need.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now?
He did that in his condo. My first Zoom when I was down there was awful, but then he put this magnifier and it was like, oh, works great.
All right, you talk to him. Give me a call tomorrow or text me what I need and I'll go buy it tomorrow, okay? All right, so anyway, I want to recognize our Sapphire Stars. First of all, Margie Berry, let's give her a big round of applause. Give her a big wave, yay. Let me see who else is still on here. Jennifer Simpson, yeah, Sapphire Star, woo, you rock. Jude, are you still on? Jude, Portia, Sapphire Star, that is exciting. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone. Is Jessica Brown still on? I don't think so. She's a Sapphire. Okay, then on to the next level. Margie Berry. No. Ruby. Leah Lydini. Woo! Thank you, Leah. Then on to Diamond. Oh my goodness, girls. This is where it gets serious. Sapphire is super important. You are majorly moving some product and some business. Ruby, you are majorly moving up, not only in moving product, you're moving recruits. Diamond, now you're removing product and moving up that ladder. We have Jamie Brown. Jamie, yeah, give Jamie a round of applause. She is a diamond. And then we're going to go on to Emerald. I don't see anybody in the Emerald level. It's time we start moving some of the sapphires and rubies up to Emerald. I'm going to challenge you. Move up that ladder, okay? Then let's go to, let me check this out.
We have lots of pearls, Lori.
Oh, guys, we have lots of pearls. I mean, oh, I know Mary Beth. I know Jody. You broke records in the numbers of stars you had this quarter. Am I right? Yes. And the pearl stars, they got some big time points this quarter. First of all, we have Joanne Floyd. Congratulations. You know what? I apologize. I got to back up. We have a diamond star. I missed her. Wait a minute. All right. No, I didn't. Okay. Pearl star. We have, you guys, I don't think I had this right. I apologize. If I got you all mixed up, it's because I couldn't read all the text I was getting in. All right. Ashley, give us a big round of applause. Ashley is a pearl star. A pearl star. Joanne Floyd. Joanne, you finished, I believe, as an emerald star. Joanne, I apologize,
pearl.
Mary Beth.
Yes,
She's a pearl. Oh my goodness. All right, check this out, guys. Ashley, a pearl. Give her a round of applause. That's huge. Joanne, a pearl. And the queen, well, the top of all the points of the entire quarter. You guys, you just need to give a silent scream, a loud scream, a huge round of applause. Annette Backus. Give everybody a wave. You had the top points this quarter in all 3 units. And most of us broke records in our unit, October, November, and also a record-breaking month in December. Annette, you rocked your business. I heard a little secret about how much you sold just within a couple of days, I think weeks. Annette, you are truly an amazing person. Annette, would you tell us, unmute, and just share with us what it is you.
Are you with us, Annette?
I froze.
Yes.
How'd you do it, Annette?
She's still muted.
Oh, she's frozen.
Is she frozen? I think she's frozen.
She's frozen now too.
She's frozen
I
too.
think the weather is just getting to us. I can brag on Annette. Annette sees faces. She loves her customers. She had over a $4,000 open house. She followed that up with almost a $2,000 week, if not at least a $2,000 week. But the last 4 weeks in a row, she's had over $1,000, beginning with that $4,000 open house. And part of it is she takes the challenge. She did satin hands. We did a satin hands challenge. She did satin hands on people. She couldn't keep satin hands in stock. And as she delivered, she showed more products, and it just, she loves all her customers. So, Annette, we're really proud of you. I hope you can hear me. I know you're frozen. But thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you, Jody, for arranging this. I would love to hear from you guys. Most of you are on a coaching call with me. So I want to make sure that we chat about this. I want you to write down what you took away, what insights you took away about yourself, about your strengths, and how you're going to utilize those to knock out the rest of December and then on the next 6 months. So know that Jody and Lori and I believe in you guys totally. We want you all to be sales directors so we can get your input on things that we're doing and leading your units. Okay? So Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Did you guys hear my round of applause? Did you hear this? No, I was applauding you guys. I only hear it on my side. You can't even hear it.
I heard
So,
the mouse
I was
click.
applauding you guys all the way through. Have a Merry Christmas.
I heard the mouse
Yeah.
click.
Merry Christmas.
Bye,
Bye.
ladies. I love you all.
Bye.
Mwah.